The small alien ship moved quietly through space toward the blue planet. Inside the ship, Scout Thelmora looked at the screens showing Earth below. The planet looked peaceful. Green lands and blue oceans covered most of it. Small cities dotted. The surface like tiny lights. Space stations floated around the planet, but they looked simple and old. "Another weak world," Thelmora said to his companion. "These humans will be easy to control." The aliens had been watching Earth for many months. They saw humans flying in basic ships. They saw farmers growing food. They saw people living quiet lives in small towns. The humans looked harmless. They had no big weapons that the aliens could see, no huge armies, no powerful space fleets. Far below on Earth, Captain Kim Dae-hyun sat in a room deep under the mountains of Korea. The room was filled with screens and computers. But this was not an ordinary room. It was hidden so well that even the best alien sensors could not find it. The mountain looked normal from outside. Trees grew on it. Birds lived in its forests. But inside, it held one of Earth's most important secrets. Kim Dae-hyun watched the alien ship on his screen. He had been tracking it for hours. His fingers moved over the controls, but he did not press any weapons buttons. Not yet. Those orders had not come. "Sir," said a young officer beside him, "the alien ship is scanning our cities again." "Let them look," Kim Dae-hyun replied. "They will see exactly what we want them to see." On the screens, Kim Dae-hyun could see what the aliens were seeing. The cities looked old and simple. The space stations looked like they were built for farming and trade. The ships moving between planets looked slow and weak. Everything looked peaceful and harmless. But Kim Dae-hyun knew the truth. Those simple cities had weapons hidden under every street. Those farming space stations could destroy a moon if needed. Those slow ships could move faster than anything the aliens had ever seen. Earth had been preparing for this day for 300 years. In another part of Earth, Dr. Park Soo-jin sat in her laboratory. She was listening to alien radio signals. Her computers were breaking the alien language into words she could understand. What she heard made her angry, but she stayed calm. The aliens were talking about humans like they were animals. They planned to make humans work as slaves. They wanted to take all of Earth's resources. Typical, Dr. Park Soo-jin said quietly. She had studied many alien races. Most of them thought they were better than everyone else. They believed strong meant good and weak meant worthless. They never learned that sometimes the smartest thing was to look weak when you were actually strong. She typed notes into her computer. Every word the aliens said was being recorded. Every plan they made was being studied. When the time came, Earth would know everything about their enemies. High above Earth, Lieutenant Cho Min-ho flew his ship between the space stations. To anyone watching, he looked like a simple cargo pilot. His ship was big and slow. It carried food and supplies between stations. But Cho Min-ho was not really a cargo pilot. He was one of Earth's best fighter pilots. And his ship was not really slow. Hidden inside the cargo ship was the most advanced fighter craft ever built. It could appear and disappear like a ghost. It could fly in ways that would make alien pilots sick. Its weapons could cut through any alien armor. But today, Cho Min-ho flew slowly and carefully, pretending to be nothing special. "Control, this is Transport 7, he said into his radio. "Moving supplies to Station 5. "Copy that, Transport 7, came the reply. "Take your time out there." But both Cho Min-ho and Control knew the real message. Everything was ready. All pilots were in position. When the order came, Earth's hidden fleet would appear like magic. In the deepest parts of Earth's government buildings, Admiral Lee Young-ho read reports from around the solar system. Every hidden base was ready. Every secret weapon was charged and waiting. Every soldier knew their job, but still, they waited. The plan was simple but brilliant. Let the aliens think Earth was weak. Let them get close. Let them make threats. Let them think they had already won. Then, when they were confident and careless, show them the truth. Admiral Lee Young-ho had been part of this plan since he was young. His grandfather had helped create it. His father had improved it. Now it was his turn to use it. The aliens would learn that Earth's greatest weapon was not any gun or ship. It was patience. On the alien ship, Thelmora finished his scans. "The planet has about 8 billion humans," he reported to his leaders. "They have basic technology, some space travel, simple weapons. They will surrender quickly when they see our fleet." The aliens did not know that their radio signals were being heard on Earth. They did not know that every scan they made was being watched. They thought they were the hunters, but they were actually the prey. Engineer Shin Hyeji worked in a facility that looked like a power plant. Huge machines hummed around her. Workers moved between the equipment doing normal maintenance. But this was not a normal power plant. The machines here could power weapons that would make alien ships disappear in flashes of light. Her fingers moved over controls that had not been used for decades. Soon she might need to wake up systems that had been sleeping since Earth's last war. She checked every connection, every wire, every computer. When the moment came, everything had to work perfectly. "All systems green," she reported to her supervisors. "Ready for activation on your command." The aliens continued their scans for 3 more days. They saw exactly what Earth wanted them to see. A peaceful planet full of weak humans who would be easy to conquer. They saw farms and small cities. They saw simple ships and basic technology. They saw a world that would welcome them as new masters. But they did not see the weapons, hidden in every mountain. They did not see the fleets waiting in dark space. They did not see the soldiers ready to fight. They did not see 3 centuries of preparation waiting to unleash itself. The trap was set. The aliens had taken the bait. Soon, they would learn that Earth had been waiting for them for a very long time. The alien fleet arrived like a dark cloud covering the stars. Hundreds of ships dropped out of faster-than-light travel at the edge of Earth's solar system. They were huge vessels, each one bigger than Earth's largest cities. Their hulls were black metal covered in weapons. They looked like they were built only for war and destruction. On the biggest ship, Overlord Vextai stood on his command bridge. He was tall and thin, with 4 arms and eyes that glowed red in the dark. His skin was gray like stone, and his voice sounded like grinding metal when he spoke. "Look at this pathetic system," he said to his officers. "1 small star, a few rocky planets, and these weak humans who think they can resist the Dominion." Around him, alien officers worked at their stations. They were scanning Earth and counting human ships. They were preparing weapons for bombardment. They were making plans to land armies on the planet's surface. Everything they saw confirmed what their scouts had reported. The humans were weak and unprepared. On Earth, in his hidden command center, Captain Kim Dae-hyun watched the alien fleet on his screens. The aliens were moving exactly as Earth's planners had predicted. They were confident. They were taking their time. They thought they had already won. "Sir," said one of his officers, "the alien fleet is sending a message to all human channels. Put it on screen," Kim Dae-hyun ordered. Overlord Vextai's face appeared on every human television, computer, and communication device on Earth. His red eyes stared out at billions of humans as he began to speak. "Humans of Earth," his voice boomed. "I am Overlord Vextai of the Galactic Dominion. Your world now belongs to us. You have 24 hours to surrender completely. Open your planet to our ships. Prepare your people for new masters. Those who resist will be destroyed. Those who cooperate will become our workers and slaves." The message continued for several minutes. Vextai described how the Dominion had conquered hundreds of worlds. He told humans about the other species that now served alien masters. He explained how Earth's resources would be stripped away and used for alien colonies. He made it clear that humans had no choice and no hope. When the message ended, Kim Dae-hyun smiled coldly. "Send word to all stations," he ordered. "The aliens have taken the bait. Begin final preparations." Across Earth, the message was received in the hidden facilities. In the mountain bases, soldiers checked their weapons one last time. In the fake power plants, engineers started warming up systems that had waited decades to be used. In the space stations that looked like farms, crews removed the camouflage from massive guns. Dr. Park Soo-jin was in her laboratory, still listening to alien communications. She heard the alien officers talking to each other after sending their message. They were laughing. They thought it was funny that humans might try to resist. "Their weapons are so primitive," one alien officer said. "Our shields can stop anything. They can throw at us." "I heard some of them are still using chemical rockets," another alien laughed. "How did such a backward species even reach space?" Dr. Park Soo-jin made notes about everything she heard. The aliens were making the same mistake that many species had made before. They thought that technology they could see was the only technology that existed. They never considered that a smart species might hide their best weapons. Lieutenant Cho Min-ho was still flying his fake cargo ship when the alien message was broadcast. He was moving slowly between space stations, just like he had been doing for months. But now other ships were joining him. More cargo vessels and passenger transports were leaving Earth's space stations and moving to new positions. To the aliens watching, it looked like civilian ships trying to run away. The aliens probably thought humans were panicking and trying to escape. They had no idea that Earth's most dangerous weapons were moving into attack positions. "Control, this is Transport 7, Cho Min-ho said into his radio. "Moving to position Delta as planned." "Copy, Transport 7. All transports continue to assigned positions. Remember, you are still civilian cargo ships. The alien fleet moved closer to Earth." They were being careful, but not too careful. Their scans showed that human ships were weak and slow. Human space stations looked harmless. The planet itself had no orbital defense platforms that alien sensors could detect. Admiral Lee Young-ho was in the main command center for Earth's defense. Around him, screens showed the position of every human ship and every alien vessel. Red dots marked alien threats. Green dots marked human assets. But most of the green dots were hidden from alien sensors. "Admiral," reported an officer, "the alien fleet is maintaining standard approach pattern. They are not deploying advanced scanning. They believe their initial intelligence." "Good," Admiral Lee Young-ho replied. "How much longer until they reach optimal range?" 18 hours, sir. They will be too close to escape when we reveal ourselves." In the deepest parts of Earth's military installations, engineer Shin Hyeji was preparing systems that most humans had never heard of. These were weapons built using technology that Earth had developed in secret over 3 centuries. Some used forces that could bend space itself. Others could make matter disappear completely. Her hands moved over controls that looked simple but controlled incredible power. Each weapon system had been tested in secret. Each one could destroy ships much larger than anything in the alien fleet. But they had never been used in real combat. "All exotic weapon systems are online," she reported to her commanders. "Gravity disruptors ready, matter dissolution beams charged, temporal displacement mines armed and positioned." The aliens continued sending threatening messages to Earth. They demanded that human leaders come forward to surrender. They wanted Earth's armies to lay down their weapons. They ordered human ships to stop moving and prepare for boarding, but the humans did not respond to any of these demands. Human leaders did not appear on communication channels. Human ships continued their normal activities. People in human cities went about their daily lives as if nothing was happening. This confused some of the alien officers. They expected humans to be afraid. They expected panic and chaos. Instead, they saw humans calmly going to work, eating meals, and taking care of their families. "Perhaps they do not understand," suggested one alien officer to Overlord Vexitai. Maybe their translation systems are too primitive to process our message. Or maybe they are too stupid to be afraid, Vextai replied. It does not matter. In 20 hours, we will begin bombardment. They will understand then. High Counselor. Kethron was on another ship in the alien fleet. He was older than Vextai and had conquered more worlds. Something about the human response bothered him, but he could not identify what it was. Send probe ships closer to the planet, he ordered. Scan their major cities more carefully. I want to know exactly what weapons they have. The probe ships moved toward Earth. Their sensors reached out to examine human cities, space stations, and ships. But the scans showed the same things the aliens had been seeing for months. Basic technology, simple weapons, primitive defenses. What the aliens did not know was that their scans were being carefully guided. Earth's technology made alien sensors see exactly what humans wanted them to see. Real weapons were hidden behind fake images. Powerful systems appeared to be harmless equipment. As the 24-hour deadline approached, tension grew on both sides. The aliens prepared for easy victory. The humans prepared for the moment when they would drop their disguise and show their true strength. Captain Kim Dae-hyun looked at the countdown timer on his screen. In 6 hours, the alien ultimatum would expire. In 6 hours, Earth would stop pretending to be weak. He opened a communication channel to all hidden facilities. All stations. This is command. Prepare for Operation Revelation. In 6 hours, the galaxy will learn what happens when Earth stops being patient. The 24 hours were almost over. Overlord Vextai stood on his command bridge, watching Earth grow larger on his screens. His fleet was now close enough to begin the attack. In just minutes, he would give the order to start bombarding the human cities. Status report, he commanded his officers. All ships are in position, replied his weapons officer. Targeting systems are locked onto human population centers. We can begin bombardment on your command. Vextai smiled with satisfaction. Scan the planet one more time. I want to see if the humans are finally ready to surrender. The alien sensors swept across Earth's surface. They saw the same peaceful cities and quiet space stations. Human ships were still moving slowly between planets. There were no signs of military preparation, no weapons being moved into position, no shields being raised around cities. The humans show no signs of resistance, reported the scanning officer. They appear to be continuing normal activities. This puzzled Vextai. Most species showed some fear when facing the Dominion fleet. Even if they planned to surrender, they usually gathered their leaders and prepared surrender ceremonies. But humans seem to be ignoring the alien fleet completely. Perhaps they have accepted their fate, Vextai said. Begin bombardment of their largest city. A demonstration of our power will make them more cooperative. Deep under the mountains of Korea, Captain Kim Dae-hyun watched his countdown timer reach 0. The 24-hour ultimatum was over. Around him, his officers waited for orders. Every screen in the command center showed green lights. Every weapon system was ready. Every hidden ship was in position. Kim Dae-hyun reached for his communication panel. This was the moment Earth had been preparing for since the first alien ship was spotted 3 centuries ago. This was the moment when humanity would stop pretending to be weak. All stations, this is command, he said calmly. Execute Operation Revelation. I repeat, execute Operation Revelation. The sleeping giants awaken now. Those words traveled instantly to every hidden facility on Earth and throughout the solar system. In mountain bases, massive doors began opening for the first time in decades. In fake power plants, engineer Shin Hyeji pressed buttons that activated weapons beyond alien understanding. In space, Lieutenant Cho Minho's cargo ship began changing into something very different. Admiral Lee Young-ho was in the main command center when the order came. He had been waiting his entire life for this moment. All units, he announced, Drop concealment protocols. Show them who we really are. The first sign that something was wrong came from the alien sensors. Suddenly, their screens were filled with new contacts. Ships that had not been there seconds before were appearing everywhere. But these were not the slow cargo vessels the aliens had been tracking. These were warships larger than anything in the alien fleet. "Overlord!" shouted the scanning officer on Vextai's ship. "New contacts! Hundreds of them! They are appearing all around us!" Vextai spun to look at the tactical display. Where there had been empty space moments before, there were now massive human warships. They had appeared without warning, as if they had been invisible. "Impossible," Vextai snarled. "Our sensors would have detected ships that large." But even as he spoke, more ships were appearing. The human cargo vessels were changing before the aliens' eyes. Outer hulls were falling away to reveal sleek combat craft. Fake engine pods were opening to show weapons that glowed with dangerous energy. Lieutenant, Cho Minho's ship completed its transformation from cargo hauler to fighter craft in less than 10 seconds. Around him, thousands of other pilots were doing the same thing. The slow, harmless civilian fleet had become the deadliest military force in the galaxy. "Phoenix Squadron, this is Phoenix Leader," Cho Minho announced. "All wings report ready. For combat. Dragon Squadron ready. Tiger Squadron ready. Wolf Squadron ready." The reports continued as squadron after squadron of human fighters dropped their disguises. In space around Earth, what had looked like a few dozen civilian ships became a massive fleet of 10,000 combat vessels. But the ships were only the beginning. On Earth's surface, mountains were opening like flowers. Hidden inside those mountains were weapons that the aliens had never imagined. Captain Kim Dae-hyun's facility revealed itself as one of 12 planetary defense cannons. Each cannon was larger than most alien ships. The space stations that had looked like farming platforms were changing too. Agricultural equipment disappeared as massive gun turrets rose from hidden compartments. Solar panels folded back to reveal armor plating thick enough to stop anything in the alien arsenal. Engineer Shin Hyeji stood before controls that had not been used in living memory. These were Earth's most secret weapons. Technology that could manipulate the basic forces of the universe. Her finger hovered over the activation button for the gravity disruptors. "Exotic weapons online," she reported. "Ready to demonstrate why humans prefer peace." High Counselor Kethron was on his ship when the transformation began. He had seen many species try to resist the Dominion, but nothing like this. The humans had not just hidden a few weapons. They had hidden an entire military that was more advanced than anything in Dominion space. "How is this possible?" he whispered to his officers. "How did they hide so much from our sensors?" His scanning officer was frantically working at his controls. "Sir, I am reading energy signatures I do not recognize. Some of these human weapons are using technology beyond our understanding." On Vextai's flagship, panic was beginning to spread. The human fleet that had appeared around them was not just large, it was positioned perfectly. Every alien ship was surrounded, every escape route was blocked. The aliens had flown into a trap that had been 3 centuries in the making. "All ships, battle formation," Vextai ordered. "Prepare to engage human forces." But as his fleet tried to form up for battle, they discovered another surprise. The human ships were faster than anything the aliens had ever seen. Human fighters were moving in ways that violated alien understanding of physics. They could accelerate, instantly change direction without slowing down, and disappear and reappear like ghosts. Admiral Lee Young-ho opened a communication channel to the alien fleet. His voice was calm and polite, but his words carried a threat that made alien officers shiver. "Alien vessels, this is Admiral Lee Young-ho of the Earth Defense Force. You have entered our space with hostile intent. You have threatened our people and our world. You demanded our surrender." He paused for a moment. "We decline." Captain Kim Dae-hyun was ready to fire his planetary cannon. The weapon was aimed at the alien flagship. One shot from this cannon could destroy a small moon. against. An alien warship, even one as large as Vextai's flagship, it would be complete annihilation. "Overlord Vextai," Kim Dae-hyun's voice came through the alien communication system. "You wanted to see our true capabilities. You demanded that we show you our weapons. Very well. Allow us to demonstrate why Earth has been peaceful for so long. It is because we have had no need to prove our strength to anyone." The moment had arrived. Earth's war machines were fully awake. 3 centuries of hidden preparation were about to be revealed in a display of power that would change the galaxy forever. Engineer Shin Hyeji activated the first exotic weapon. Space around the alien fleet began to bend and twist as gravity itself became a weapon in human hands. Lieutenant Cho Min-ho led his fighters in the first attack run. Human weapons fired with light brighter than stars, and in that moment, the aliens learned the most important lesson in the galaxy. Sometimes, the most dangerous enemy is the one who looks completely harmless. The first human weapon to fire was Captain Kim Dae-hyun's planetary cannon. The energy beam that erupted from the Korean mountains was brighter than the sun. It crossed the distance to the alien fleet in less than a second. When it hit Overlord, Vextai's flagship, the massive alien vessel simply disappeared. One moment, the biggest ship in the alien fleet was there. The next moment, there was only empty space and glowing particles drifting away. On the other alien ships, officers stared at their screens in shock. Their flagship had been the most powerful vessel in Dominion space. Its shields could stop the weapons of entire planets. Its armor was thicker than some asteroids, and a single shot from Earth had made it vanish completely. "Impossible," whispered High Counselor Kethran from his ship. "Nothing has that much power." But even as he spoke, 11 more beams lanced out from Earth's hidden cannons. 11 more alien ships disappeared in flashes of light. The weapons that had been hidden in Earth's mountains for 3 centuries were demonstrating why no alien force had ever threatened Earth successfully. Engineer Shin Hyeji activated her exotic weapon systems. Space around the alien fleet began to behave strangely. Gravity started pulling in impossible directions. Some alien ships found themselves being crushed by forces they could not understand. Others discovered that their engines no longer worked, because the laws of physics had changed around them. "Gravity disruptors at full power," Shin Hyeji reported calmly. "Reality manipulation fields are active. The aliens are learning that humans fight with the universe itself as our weapon." Lieutenant Cho Min-ho led his fighter squadron into the alien formation. His ship moved through space in ways that made alien pilots sick to watch. He could fly straight up, then instantly change direction without slowing down. He could disappear from one place and appear in another with no transition. "Phoenix leader to all squadrons," he announced. "Show them what human fighters can really do." The human fighters attacked like a swarm of deadly insects. They were everywhere at once. Alien gunners could not track them because they moved too fast and changed direction too quickly. When the humans fired their weapons, alien ships exploded or simply ceased to exist. But it was not just the speed and weapons that terrified the aliens. It was the way humans fought. Every human pilot seemed to know exactly where every other human pilot was going to be. They moved like they were all part of one mind. They covered each other perfectly. They attacked in patterns that seemed impossible to coordinate. Dr. Park Soo-jin was broadcasting psychological warfare messages to the alien fleet. She spoke their language perfectly, using words that cut deeper than any weapon. "Alien warriors," her voice came through their communication systems. "You came here expecting to find weak prey. Instead, you have found apex predators. For 300 years, Earth has been watching the galaxy. We have studied every species. We know all your weaknesses. We know how you think. We know how you fight. And we have prepared accordingly." Her words were having an effect. On alien ships throughout the fleet, crew members were starting to panic. They had been told that humans were primitive and weak. They had been promised easy victory and rich rewards. Instead, They were facing technology and tactics they had never imagined. High Counselor Kethron tried to rally his remaining ships. All vessels maintain formation. These humans are using tricks and illusions. They cannot be as powerful as they appear. But even as he spoke, one of Earth's space stations demonstrated exactly how powerful humans could be. The station that had looked like a simple farming platform opened like a deadly flower. Weapons emerged that were larger than most alien ships. When those weapons fired, they sent beams of energy that cut through entire formations of alien vessels. Admiral Lee Young-ho was coordinating the battle from his command center. He watched as the alien fleet, which had seemed so threatening just minutes before, was being systematically destroyed. But he felt no joy in the destruction. This was not a battle. This was a demonstration. All human forces, he announced. Maintain controlled fire. We are not trying to kill every alien in the fleet. We are teaching them a lesson that they will remember for the rest of their lives. The lesson was simple but effective. Every alien ship that tried to fight was destroyed quickly and efficiently. Every alien ship that tried to run was allowed to leave, but only after watching their companions die. The humans wanted some aliens to survive. Someone had to return to Dominion space and tell others what had happened at Earth. Captain Kim Dae-hyun fired his cannon again. This time, he aimed at an alien cruiser that was trying to organize a counterattack. The ship vanished, just like the flagship had. But before firing, Kim Dae-hyun had sent a message to the cruiser's crew. "You have 10 seconds to abandon ship," he had warned them. "This is not murder. This is education." Most of the alien crew had managed to escape in life pods before their ship was destroyed. They floated in space, watching human ships move around them. The humans did not harm the survivors. Instead, they provided them with supplies and directions to the nearest alien colony. Engineer Shin Hyeji activated another exotic weapon system. This one reached out and simply turned off the engines of 50 alien ships at once. The ships were not destroyed. They were not damaged. Their engines just stopped working and could not be restarted. "Temporal displacement fields activated," she reported. "Target vessels have been moved slightly out of phase with normal time. Their engines exist in the past while their ships exist in the present. The effect will wear off in a few hours, but by then the demonstration will be over." The aliens were beginning to understand that this was not a normal space battle. The humans were not trying to win. They were trying to teach. Every weapon the humans used was more advanced than anything in the alien fleet. Every tactic the humans employed was more sophisticated than alien military doctrine, but the most frightening thing was not the power of human weapons. It was the restraint humans showed in using them. The humans could have destroyed the entire alien fleet in the first few seconds of the battle. Instead, they were destroying just enough ships to make their point while allowing survivors to escape. Scout Thelmora was on one of the ships that the humans had disabled rather than destroyed. He floated helplessly in space, watching human fighters dance around alien vessels like they were playing a game. The same scout who had called humans weak just days before now understood the truth. The humans had never been weak. They had been patient. They had been waiting. They had spent centuries preparing for exactly this moment. And now that the moment had come, they were demonstrating why patience was the most dangerous human trait. High Counselor Kethran's ship was one of the few still fighting. But fighting was a generous description of what was happening. His weapons could not hit the human ships. His shields could not stop human weapons. His engines could not outrun human fighters. "Counselor," his communications officer called out, "the humans are sending us a message." "Put it through," Kethran replied. Dr. Park Soo-jin's voice filled the bridge. "High Counselor Kethran, your forces are defeated. Your ships are destroyed, or disabled. Your threat to Earth has been neutralized. You have two choices. You can continue fighting and die here in our space, or you can retreat and return to your own territory. If you choose to retreat, you will carry a message to every species in the Dominion. What message? Kethran asked. That Earth prefers peace, but we are very, very good at war. High Counselor Kethran made his choice. His ship turned away from Earth and began the journey back to Dominion space. Behind him, the wreckage of what had once been the mightiest fleet in the galaxy drifted silently in space. Of the 400 ships that had come to conquer Earth, only 37 were still functional. The rest had been destroyed or disabled in less than an hour. The survivors carried with them a message that would change the galaxy forever. Earth was not the weak, primitive world that alien intelligence had described. Earth was the home of the most dangerous species in known space, and Earth had been watching the galaxy for 3 centuries, learning every alien weakness while hiding their own strength. Admiral Lee Young-ho stood in his command center, watching the alien ships retreat. Around him, his officers were shutting down weapon systems and returning human ships to their hidden positions. In a few hours, Earth would look peaceful and harmless again. But now the galaxy knew the truth. Send word to all human colonies, Admiral Lee Young-ho ordered. Phase 1 is complete. Begin Phase 2 immediately. Phase 2 was not about hiding anymore. Phase 2 was about making sure that no alien species would ever threaten Earth again. Human ships began appearing in star systems throughout the galaxy. Not to conquer or destroy, but to establish monitoring stations, to make it clear that Earth was watching everything. Captain Kim Dae-hyun sealed his mountain base and returned it to its camouflaged state. Trees grew on the mountain again. Birds returned to nest in its forests. But now every species in the galaxy would know that those peaceful mountains contained weapons that could destroy planets. "Sir?" asked one of his officers. "What do we do? Now? Do we prepare for the next attack?" Kim Dae-hyun smiled. "There will be no next attack," he said. "The aliens will spend the next century trying to figure out how we hid so much from their sensors. By the time they think they understand our technology, we will have developed something even more advanced." He was right. In Dominion space, alien scientists were already working frantically to understand what had happened at Earth. How had the humans hidden such massive weapons? How had they made their ships invisible to sensors? How had they developed technology that seemed to break the laws of physics? But every answer they found led to more questions. The more they studied human technology, the more they realized how little they understood about Earth's capabilities. The humans had not just hidden weapons. They had hidden an entire civilization's worth of scientific advancement. Engineer Shin Hyeji was already working on new projects. The weapons she had used against the alien fleet were impressive, but they were old technology by human standards. She was developing systems that could manipulate time itself, weapons that could reach across space and disable entire star systems, defenses that could make Earth completely invisible to any sensor in the galaxy. "The next time aliens threaten us," she told her assistants, "we will not need to fire a single shot. We will simply remove their ability to find us." Lieutenant Cho, Minyo returned his fighter to its disguise as a cargo ship, but he did not return to Earth. Instead, he joined a fleet of human ships that was spreading throughout the galaxy. These ships would establish listening posts and monitoring stations. They would make sure that Earth always knew what every alien species was planning. "Control. This is Phoenix Leader," he reported. "Beginning patrol of Sector 7. If any aliens in this area are planning trouble for Earth, we will know about it." Dr. Park Sujin was analyzing reports from the surviving alien ships. The psychological effect of Earth's demonstration was even greater than she had hoped. Alien species throughout the galaxy were already changing their plans for expansion. Worlds that had been marked for conquest were being removed from target lists. But more importantly, alien species were starting to treat all primitive worlds with more respect. If Earth could hide such advanced technology, what other species might be doing the same thing? The galaxy was becoming a more careful place. Scout Thelmora was among the survivors who returned to Dominion space. His report was read by alien leaders throughout the galaxy. He described weapons that could destroy ships instantly, fighters that moved like they were not bound by physics, defenses that had remained hidden for centuries. But the part of his report that scared alien leaders the most was his description of human restraint. The humans could have destroyed every alien ship in the fleet. Instead, they had chosen to let some survive. They had demonstrated mercy even while showing overwhelming power. This makes them more dangerous, not less, Thelmora wrote in his report. A species that can show mercy while winning a battle is a species that thinks in ways we do not understand. They are not just more advanced than us. They are more civilized than us. The Galactic Dominion never recovered from the defeat at Earth. Member species began leaving the Alliance. Worlds that had been conquered by alien armies started declaring independence. The idea that strength meant the right to rule others was dying throughout the galaxy. In its place, a new idea was growing. The idea that truly advanced species did not need to conquer others. They could be strong enough to defend themselves, while wise enough to live in peace. It was an idea that Earth had been demonstrating for 3 centuries. Admiral Lee Young-ho received reports from human monitoring stations throughout the galaxy. Alien species were changing their behavior. Wars were ending. Peaceful contact was beginning between species that had been enemies for millennia. The demonstration at Earth had done more than defend one planet. It had started to change the entire galaxy. Mission accomplished, he told his staff. Phase 3 can begin. Phase 3 was the most ambitious part of Earth's plan. Now that the galaxy knew Earth existed and was powerful, humans would begin making open contact with alien species, but not as conquerors or rulers, as teachers and guides. Earth would help other species develop the same patient wisdom that had made humans so successful. Years passed. The galaxy slowly became a more peaceful place. Alien species learned that the best defense was not having the biggest weapons, but being too valuable to attack. They learned that showing strength through wisdom was more effective than showing strength through force. Human colonies spread throughout the galaxy, but they were different from other species' colonies. Human settlements became centers of learning and cooperation, places where different alien species could meet safely and share knowledge. Captain Kim Dae-hyun, now much older, stood on the observation deck of a space station orbiting an alien world. The station was jointly operated by humans and 6 different alien species. Scientists from across the galaxy worked together on projects that benefited everyone. "Did you ever think it would work this well?" asked Dr. Park Soo-jin, who stood beside him. Kim Dae-hyun smiled. "The plan was always simple," he said. "Appear weak when you are strong. Be patient when others are hasty. Show mercy when you have the power to destroy. And always remember that the best victory is the one where your enemies become your friends." Through the station's windows, they could see ships from dozens of different species docking peacefully. Aliens who had once been enemies now worked together. Species that had once conquered others now focused on exploring and learning. Earth's war machines had stirred for just 1 hour, but that 1 hour had changed the galaxy forever. And in the end, the greatest human weapon had not been their cannons, or fighters, or exotic technology. It had been their wisdom to know when to fight and when to show mercy. The galaxy was finally learning what Earth had always known. That true strength came not from the ability to destroy, but from the wisdom to choose not to.